All right, so good morning, students. All right, so okay, so as I've said earlier on, that we'll just be try to design this site, google.com, and I also try to say something about trying to use some extensions that you can easily run your code without you trying to navigate to the browser section where you have your files uploaded. So basically, I already installed the extension here. So you just click on this icon here, go live, and it will run your code for you. Yeah, there's it here. So then we just wanted to try to design this Google, right? So I will just, what I'll do is I will create another page. I will just call it maybe google.html. I'll call it google.html, and I can easily just navigate. I can easily just navigate to the Google here from my browser here. If you check my VS Code extension, my VS Code here, I have two folders, right? This is the first one we designed earlier on, and once you do the Google now, so I'll just create like another file and call it maybe google.html. And to navigate to this Google now, all I need to do is just to change the URL from here, from index to Google, and it will just yeah, I'm on Google now. So it's already opening like a blank page for the google.com. Now just trying to redesign this stuff using the Google extension that we have here, which is this one. So how are we going to start? We already have what is it called? So we already have this design here, so let's try and replicate the same thing into this guy here. Now first and foremost, what we need to do is like I said earlier on, or you need to orchestrate your HTML for your website, and using the VS Code, it actually makes it much more simpler when you're trying to write your code. It saves you the stress of typing everything. So with my VS Code, if I just type HTML and select 5, it will give me the skeletal fields that I needed for my site. Now, in order for us to test that we actually at the right page, which is this one here, let's try and type something. Let's type like I said, inside the body tag, that's where you have everything, just like our body entails everything. So if I just type the p tag and call it hello, you should see it now. Let me see. Okay, let me try and stop and try to restart again. Let me just kill the spots. Let me kill it and try to restart again. Yeah, I'm actually a lazy developer, so I want my stuff to be very fast at pace. So let me try and test again. Maybe if I type let's say h1 my word. Yeah, so it's already reflecting now. That's what I wanted to get. Now to start afresh, now by default we already have like a white background for this Google, so we'll just stick to the default background color. But however, we want to try to orchestrate this sidebar that we have here, this sidebar here, and in order to do that, I made mention of some general tags that you might need to learn how to use. So for that, what I'll just do is to create a div tag, and inside the div tag I will just try and give it some kind of styling, right? So let me start by saying image self end, just to be sure that it's actually showing. Yeah, so we need to put this one here at the right corner, just like the way this one is. So in doing that, what we need to do is to come to our style here, our header tag here, and try to embed our what is it called, our style, this style.css that we have here. We need to embed it so that we can actually try to use it as an external CSS file. It will actually save us the stress in try to write the inline style, but it's actually a preference to you. You can actually use the inline or you use the external, but I do like using external because you can easily just type everything on one single file and you just upload it. Now to start with, when try to style a particular div, what you need to do is just to use attributes for a tag called class. You give it like this. So inside the class, I can just call it side nav. Let me just call it side nav, right? So inside this side nav, what I need to do is to copy this, and let's be checking for the effect here. We need to make sure that this image self end is actually displayed at the right corner, right? That's what we wanted to achieve now. So in order to do that, now we'll come to our style.css here. We'll create a class style. We'll copy the variable here. So there's another thing we call variable in programming world. A variable are words that you want to use and it can actually change, so you can use it anywhere you want in your website. And there's also what we call a constant variable too. Constant means it's final, it doesn't change. So you can just see this variable that I'm using here as a constant, not as a variable. So now for that, so what we need to do is let's try and bring the image self end to the right corner, right? And there is a properties called display. So that display, I'll call it display flex. And for us to see the change, the effect, coming. Okay. So for us to see the effects, I want to do something now. What I wanted to do is I wanted to create like two different I want to create two different, like a paragraph inside this this div tag here. So what I'll be doing is, let me do something like this. Let's say be welcome, and let me do another one. Let me call this one to be my website. So technically, if you look at what's been displayed there, you see that the background color, it's blue for the paragraph. Now why is that? Because I actually defined a global background color for any paragraph tag or any p tag that I actually use. Now in order to change that, you can just maybe modify this and call it PE. Yeah, it should not take any effects or changes on your site. So now the two tags actually displayed side by side. Now another thing I want us to take notice, there's what we call white spacing. White spacing in the sense that anything you type inside is your VS Code. If you don't use like a tag for it, everything will be displayed side by side, right? It will be displayed side by side. Now, what we wanted to achieve is, I wanted to give us a sneak peek. What if we want the welcome and my website to be in a block format, right? Like in an horizontal format. I mean, sorry, in a vertical format. So what we need to do is to come to this style here. What we have here, I'll just say display flex, though I can still use block. And block, it's also more of like, we understand the word block in the sense that it's a vertical stuff. So you can use block, display block. Like this inline block is still like almost same thing as the normal block. And also you can still use display flex, and you just say flex direction. You cannot give it column. These two are still the same. So the only thing that you can actually try to figure out is there's a kind of a small, like there's like some extra spacing between using the block and using the flex. The reason being that is basically all these tags that we're using, they have all these properties that we're using. They have their own default paragraph and spacing that's the W3C actually uses. So let's just stick to using block for this. Okay, let me use this one, display flex direction column, for these are training purposes. But then we don't want our side menu to be block, right? We want it to be flex. And another thing I can do is I can give it like a gap. Gap means you want there to be space between the welcome and also my website. If you check, both are actually side by side. So let's give it a gap of 2 pixels. So there will be like a kind of like a space. I don't know if you see the space, but let me make it more clear so that we'll see the change very well. Yeah, so that's it. So the next thing is we wanted the side menu to be displayed to the side, right, to the right corner. And to do that, all we need to do is just we'll use justify content. You can see there is center, there's end, there's flex start. Flex start means start from where the div tag is, and flex end is go to the end of the div tag. And for this one now, we want it to be at the right corner of the screen. So in order to do that, we'll just use right. As you can see, it has shifted to the right corner. Then another thing is we can also try and give it like a padding, right? If you check the way Google is, there's a kind of like some small spacing and padding in between this icon here. So what we need to do next is to try to give it like some padding, right? So just come here. Let me give us a sneak peek about the padding too. Padding is just like you trying to pump a tire. See it as if you are trying to pump your div tag, right? You're trying to pump it, so it's like you're trying to give it like a space within your div tag, while margin is you're trying to give it a space outside your div tag. So you need to understand the two logic. Of course, you need to, I believe you all understand some sneak peek about mathematics, because as a developer you see between more of like calculations. So but we'll still get to that. So now we have a padding. As you can see, we have padding of auto. There's left, top, bottom, right. Those are the major ones that you can actually try to use. But then let me stick to the padding. So for the padding, it has 4 different variables. 4 different values that you can use, right? Just see it as the way you have the padding left, padding top, padding right, and padding bottom. The same applies to this format here. Let me write everything out so that we'll see. Now this first one is padding top, and this is padding right. Then the next one is padding bottom. You might not really see effect yet. So let's see if we want to see the effect. Let me try and give this div tag a background color, so that will be seeing the changes that we're trying to use here. Let me give it background color of blue. Yeah, so as you can see now, let me change this one back to 0 so that you will see something. Now you can see now. So if I change to 70, so the third one is a padding bottom, and while the last one is, of course, anything you use, it will not take effect. You might not really see the effect, right, because you are still working within a single div tag. So this one is actually the left spacing corner of your div. So to anything you give, you might not really see the effect or the changes. So that's just it. And the other shorter format is you can just use just two variable. So the first one will be top and bottom. Let's try that now. 0 pixel is 0 pixel. So if we give this one 10, it's going to give you like a spacing between the top and also the bottom, while the second one is for left and right. So spacing between left and right. And the last format that you can use, you can just use just a single value in the sense that I will just say 10 pixel. So the 10 pixel means I'm giving it a space of top, left, right, and also top, bottom, left, and right, a spacing of 10 pixel. So as time goes on, you can just try to look at how you want to style your div, how you want to give it a space within those div tag. So that's a sneak peek for that. So then the next thing is we can just give it align item center. Let's give it align item center. Align item center. Center means, so you might get to a point whereby you're actually using two different tags inside a div tag, and the text might not really align together. So I would show us why this line is actually important now. I'll show us that now. So but then that is for that. Then the next thing is I think it's actually 4, right? 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, so it's 5. Let me change this one to 5. Let me change it to 5. That's 3 4 5. Yeah, so it's now 5. So what is the first one? The first one is Gmail, right? Gmail and images. Gmail, and the next one is images. Then we have the last 3. I believe this user is already logged in, that's why we're seeing it to just show like the name of the icon of the user. Let's see if we can do something like this. Let's do this stuff here. So what we need to do now is we have these two icons. I said something about using some external CSS, right? Some external icons that we might actually wanted to be using in our sites, and I made mention of one called Font Awesome. So but then, so what I'll do is, all you need to do is you just need to copy their their link tag and add it to your own site. Once you've added it, there's what they call CDN. CDN is Content Delivery Network. It's more of like what you can actually use to maybe you want to embed some styling, or you want to use some icon. So basically this Google now, they actually use some icon, right? And we wanted to see if we can actually capture those icons and add it to our own site. So we'll just stick with this platform called Font Awesome and try to check if we can see those icons there, and probably add it to our own sites. So now Let's wait for it to load. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, so while it's still loading, let's do something like this. This user is already logged into his Gmail account. That's why we're having the icon there. So let's design this stuff here in case the user actually logged in. We want to display like the name of the user that actually logged in. So let's try that with the last icon there. So all we need to do is we'll come here to this last icon here. Let's give this a style. Let's give it a style. Let's give it user, for example. So this user now will come here, copy the variable that we use there, come to this style here and create like another class style here. Now for this, all we need to do is we can use let's use display flex. Then we'll say justify content center. Then the next thing we'll do is there's what they call border radius. So we want it to be if you check the way this one is, it's kind of like round, right? So we want to make it like round all through. So we'll just say border radius of 50%. Then in order to see the effects or the change, let's give it like I. So you're still not seeing the effects yet. I believe the color here is brown. You can give it any color you like. So all we need to do is we'll come here, start this our user more, give it a background color of brown. But actually this is not like the exact background color. We can always try and modify to something deeper. Yeah. Now we are not seeing the space, right? There's no spacing there. So all we need to do is to give it a padding. Don't forget what we said about padding. I want everything to be a general padding style, so I'll just give it like let's try 5 pixels. Still not really round enough. Let's give it 10 pixels. Yeah, if we check, this is where I was actually trying to say that using this guy now, this align item center, if you check now, because this image or this icon here, it's a little bit it's not aligned with the other stuff here. Then if you check here, everything we're actually on the same line, right? So what we need to do is we'll just come here, and if you check the icon, the text inside is actually white. So what we need to do next is give it a color of white. Then another format of using a color is you can either use the name or you use FFF. You can use 3, you can use 6. So it will still give it like the same color of white. Now another thing is let's try and uncomment this one out so that we'll see the changes. As you can see now, it's already aligned everything side by side. Then the next thing is the rounded border doesn't really like align with what we have here. So what we need to do is we'll just try to remodify our code a bit. Let's give it rounded of let's say 90%. Let's try 10%. Let's try 50. Okay, so where the problem is because I said something about this padding. Now because I actually said I use a padding of 10 pixels, so it means the top, bottom, left and right should be 10 pixels. But however, I'll need to modify this such that I will have is 0 pixel, or let me say 2 pixel for top and bottom, and left and right should be 10 pixel. So let me change this one to 5. Let's see, not really. Let's try 4. Then yeah, of course you can also try and reduce the font if you feel the font is actually I don't know, you can just reduce the fonts, give it the font size of let's see, you can give it smaller. Yeah, smaller here. Yeah, I think it's kind of small. And even the text itself, I think it's just ordinary I. It's capital I, not. You can just use anything. I. Yeah. So that's for that. So I wanted to save us much of our time. Let me just try and copy the style. Let me try and copy the link for the font icon so that we can actually use it. Okay, so let me just try and copy the let me try and copy the link so that we can use it. Minutes, okay. Okay, let me just open it down. Okay. All right. So Google. Open with. Okay, so let me just try and copy this link here so that we can use it. We just come here, paste the CDN for font icon. So with this, we can actually make use of the icons library here. They have hundreds of thousands of icons. So to save us much of our time, let me just copy the link, the icon, and we just paste it inside what is it called, inside our workspace. Yeah. So then another thing is let's remove the background color that we use here. Let's remove the background color. Yep. So this is actually like a network, but it will still load. Yeah, it's still loading. Then the next thing that we need to do, okay, yeah, it's already loaded. We have other one. We have filter. We have filter. Let me see if I can grab the filter. Okay. I'm just trying to look for the filter icon, but then let's wait till it loads. How many stuff do we have here? Yeah, we have two. Okay, it remains two that I wanted to add here. Which one is this one? So the next thing is, let's try and work on this center guy here. So in order to achieve that, what we need to do is we have to create like another div. We'll create another div here. We can call it anything. Give it a main. So you just copy the main again, come to your style here, and give it a class style. Then what we need to do is, we wanted the item to display at the center of the screen, right? Just like the way Google is. And in order to do that, what we need to do is, let's do something like this so that we can be seeing the effect from our end. My Google. So the next thing is, you are already seeing the Google here at the right corner. Now what we need to do is, we wanted to make it at the center of the screen, right? So in order to do that, we'll just come here to our style here. We'll say display flex. We'll say display flex. Then we'll say justify content center, and align item center. Yeah, so it's already at the center of the screen. Now another thing is, for this Google here, they have like almost 3 different sections here. They have the image, they have the input box here, they have like 2 buttons, and they have the Google offered in different languages. And I guess I made mention of something called you can actually use different language in your site. Let's say, for example, you want to design a site for in Spanish, so you can just get the Spanish and just embed it here. Let me try and see. I think for Spanish is I'm not sure if it's SP. Let me see if I can grab the coming. Okay, for Spanish it's actually ES. So it might actually take a while to format the site. Oh, sorry, I'm actually at the wrong section. Yeah, it should change the formatting to like Spanish. But then there's a Google function that you can also use. Like Google, they've already designed everything. They have like a what is it called? A is it translation? They have like a translation script that you can easily embed inside your site. So to give like the user the privilege to change to their preferred language. So that's for that. Now let's dive back again. Now I said something like they have the image, the input. So these are like stack of div tag, right? So if we come here to our own here and we say let's take for example, we create like another div tag. We say div image, and we say div input. So if we check our stuff here, you see that the image and input, they are actually side by side. So we need to make it like in a block format. And in order to do that, all we need to do is just to come to our style here. We already use display flex here. I said something like you can use display flex or you use block. So if you use block, it will automatically display all your formats in a block format. But then I don't want to use this style because it's going to display block and try to maintain the parent components for the div tag, which is the body tag. Except if I wanted to do something like I wanted to create another div here. Except if I want to create like another div here. So I'm trying to drag this one. Yeah, I'm trying to drag this one here. I don't know why it's not dragging. Okay, let's leave it. So except if I might have to create another div here. So that div will actually embed everything here. Right, I can just say let me say a div. I'll call this class a main underscore search. I said something, you can actually give your variable anything that you want to use. You can give it anything. So I'll just come here to my style and do it like this and call this one display flex justify content center and align item center. So now if you want to see the effect now, if I come here and type something here, anything here, we'll see that it's already showing the 00 here, right? So anything I now put inside this div, will actually take the style of this one. Now there's what they call I've forgotten this word. Let me see if I remember. Forgotten. It's just more of like an hierarchy. If I remember the word in CSS, I'll tell us. So there's a kind of like an hierarchy in styling. Now I already use, if you check here, I already use like display flex here, and I use another display flex inside the same div tag. So the hierarchy is, if I copy this old div tag here, if I copy this and paste it inside this one here, it's going to use the way the style is going to work is it's going to use this first style here, then it will now come to the main style that you use here. So there's kind of like an hierarchy when you're styling anything. So the hierarchy will first try to check the style that you use here, then it will now check the style that you use at this section to here. So that's for that. Then another thing is we have this image, this Google image. I don't know, I tried to see if I can actually save the image, but Google is not giving us that preference to save their image. So what I'll do is I will just try and copy the one that I have here. Let me just copy the one I have here, and I'll just paste it somewhere here. Oh wow, it's not trying to copy. Let me open Rebuilding Explorer and let me copy this one. Let me drag this one here. Google. No. I wanted to copy Google. Yeah, that's what I actually needed. Let me see if I can use the second one too. Alright, so now I have to Google image here. Now let's try and load the image here too. So I said something about the tag called img tag, which is for image, and as you can see, you have the image X, which is the source, the image, which is the sizes, and also the source set. But the general format that you can actually use is just the image source. Source means the source where the image is at. So you can actually copy any image from maybe Google, for example. Now let's try and do something. I wanted to show us something called inspect elements. As you can see, I can easily just copy this old stuff here and it will load everything on our browser. Yeah, so but then let me just let's do something. Let me see if I can try to grab their image. Let me see if I can grab their image link. Yes, this is their image link. So what I would do is just to, I would right click, edit as HTML, copy everything that is there, and come to my own side here and paste it here. Yep. Voila. So we now have our Google image, which is like the same thing as this one. But then I will still come to this section. I still don't want you guys to be using this. Yeah. So that's for the Google. We've already extracted the Google image. Then another thing is what else? We have the input box, right? Now let's try and style our input box. Let's try and style our input box. Then for the input box, let's come here and let's come here to our input box. I said we have an input tag, input of, we can say search, input of search. I believe there's search. You can use anyone here. Yeah, let's just use this one, input search. So the type is search, give it a name. All the ones will now fall in place when we try to like make it much more interactive. Maybe you want to, if you click anything, it should fire to Google, stuff like that. So now we have this input search box. Now we need to style it just like the way Google is, and for us to do that, first thing we need to do is, let's check the way Google did theirs. I think it's a kind of like a border radius, a kind of like a corner, right? And there are some icons in between, inside the input box. Now for us to do that, let's style our input box. Let's give it a class name. Let's give it a class of search box. Right, I'll just copy the search box, come here and style my box. Yeah, so the first thing first is I'll give it a border radius, right? Let me give it width of 800 pixel. Voila, it's actually big. So let's give it 500. Then another thing is it has like a background color, right? So we need to give it a background color of I think it's ash or brown. So we can always modify this by selecting this icon here. We just drag and, you know, till when you're satisfied. So yeah, we're just trying to look for, I think it's gray color. Let me see. Uh, 160, 160, 160, 160, 160, 151, 160, 151. Let's just stick with this first. Then, if you notice the, it has, thank you. So, we also have, what is it called? We need to give it like a font size. Then let me give us a sneak peek about try to use other style. So because I wanted to grab the font size, instead of me trying to type everything like fonts, then size, you can always type fonts size like this, or just F4 for fonts, right? Then you just type X So just go to style, size. So that's for that. So just say font size of let's give it what do we use here? Let's use 10 pixel here. The other thing is it has like a border too, right? So we need to give it like a border of border radius of let's use 10 pixel. 10 pixel. 10 pixel. That is not like reflecting a bit. Let me use 20. Oh, sorry. We were even trying to style another thing. We're supposed to style this one. We are doing another thing. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to style this one. I was wondering why is it not taking shape. Yeah, so it's supposed to be 10. Let's use 10. Then we want to give it like a don't forget the padding, like you're pumping a tire, space within. So we'll just give it like a padding of let's give it 5 pixel. Let's see the output. Let's try and make it 10. Let's make it 10 pixel. Yeah, so we'll make it 10 pixel. Now if you check the way Google did theirs too, I think it's more of like it's somehow rounded, right? It's kind of round. So all we need to do next is we can always try and modify the border radius to let's turn it to 20. Let's turn it to 20. Yeah, guess that's taking shape a bit. Then we'll give it there's one thing I want to check here. Then we'll give it like a, you can see border none. So border none means we don't want, like, I kind of don't like the way this stuff is. You check the way this one is. I kind of don't like the way it is, so I just give it like a border no. But you can still give it like maybe border of 1 pixel. You can give it like 1 pixel. 1 pixel. You can give it like a 1 pixel. Then the other thing is we have like 3 icons inside the this input box, right? Now in order to achieve that, we have what is called an absolute div styling. Absolute means you want to make a tag be at a particular point. Let's say for example now you are building a house and you want a particular div tag or a tag to be at a percentage to relative to where the main div tag is. And recall, I said something about you'll be doing a little more of calculations too as well. So if you have F9 in maths, I don't know, you might have to go and brush up your maths a bit. So now let's try and do that a bit now. Now we wanted to like add like these 3 icons, but I will not add the icons. I will try and use the icon that I have, but then I'll show us how you can actually get all the icons and actually add it. Now to do that, I want to show us how the stuff is. Now this input box, now what we need to do next is let's do something. We'll do, let's say, let me call this one. Okay, let me come here so that I'll be seeing the change. Now if you check now, I actually typed my website, right, and it's showing like outside the input box, yes. And I want it to be inside the input box. So there is what I call let me call this one input. Okay, I'll call this one positioning relative, which is the input box here. This input box, we already styled it, right? We are using set box. So I'll just come here. Where is my set box? I will call this one positioning relative. I'll call it relative. Then I will now call this one, this my website here. I'll call this one absolute. Let me give it a class of let's say search underscore icon. So let's come here, come to this section here, grab it here and paste here for search icon. Then I'll give it positioning of I'll call it absolute. Search icon of absolute. So then the next thing I would do is I would say the search icon should have top of 2 pixels. Let me change this one to let me give this one positioning. Let me just say input div. Let me call this one input div. I'll call this input div, and I'll call it positioning relative. Oh, sorry, position relative. Now, as you can see, now it's already coming up, right? So style the main div here, and once these are inputs, let me just give it my so that we'll be seeing the change. So we want we're assuming the mi is like the icon, right? So we want it to be in between. Let me even try and just use this one once and for all. Let me use this one as let's assume this is like the search icon. So we wanted the guy. Oh, sorry. Okay, search icon. So I'll change it to search. You see, that's the power of, because I changed the style. That's why the style actually changed. I think I use search icon. Search icon. Yeah. So now if we check the way this one is, I think there's a kind of much more space there, right? So what we need to do is let's try and increase ours to, that should be our search box. Let's come to our search box here and let's give it more spacing of okay, so we can give this one the top and bottom to be 20, while this would be, where's our, let me give this one 10 pixel. Here's our icon. Our icon don't disappear. Come in. Oh, I think what is it called? His network. And let me just change this one back to the text so that we'll be seeing the effects. So what's the next thing is okay, we wanted to give the search input style, the set box, we want to give it like much more space, Let's give it 20. Yeah, so 20 is kind of like, it's looking good. 20 is looking good. Then the next thing we need to do is, we are trying to assume this is like our icon. This MI here is like our icon. So let's try and add like 3 other icons, which is this 2 here to be at the side here. So like I said, we're assuming the MI is like our icon. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to create like a small, like another small a small div inside the section too, because there are two icons, right? So for the 2 icons, we'll just assume something like this for TE and FE. Now for these 2 as well, we'll just give it what is it called? We'll give it a search icon style. Let's confirm this search icon that we're using, absolute top. So we'll change this one to of course we can't use the same style, right? We can't use the same search icon here, because this search icon here at this style here is using, it's still absolute, right? But the top is only 2 pixels. So but other way around is we can actually try to rewrite another separate style that will work for the 2 icons that will be here. So in order to do that, we just created another one called search left. So that's what will cater for the icon that will be displayed inside this corner here. So we'll just come here, create another one, we'll call it search left, and we'll still call it the same positioning of absolute. Here we'll still give it top of 2 pixels, right? And do not give it what it's called the left. We'll say left, we'll say top, then right of 2 pixels. As you can see now, it's already displaying at the side here. So because we said right means give it 2 spacing at the right, and the top is give it 2 spacing at the top. Now if you check now, the 2 are actually like in the block format, and they were actually like how, yeah, side by side here. So we still need to modify this one here. So what we need to do is we'll come here inside this search flex here. All we need to do, we'll just modify this one to have display flex. Give it display flex. Then we can give it a gap of let's say 5 pixels. But I think we still need like much more space, right? We still need to give it some little bit of spacing. So what we can do is we can just use a padding. We'll just use padding. We'll give it a padding. Don't forget padding, space in between. So we'll just say this one should be 0 pixel, which is the top and bottom, while the left and right should be 4 pixel. So in doing this, we already tried to give it a space. Let me change this one to 6. I think 4 is still not good, but let me try 10. So as you are styling your stuff, you can always modify if you feel like it doesn't really align with what you are expecting. So you just modify that. Then let's try and do the same thing for this one. So this one, we'll just give it a padding. We'll give it the padding of 0 pixel for top and bottom. We don't want any padding for top and bottom. Then for the left and right, we want it to have let's say 4 pixel. And other way is you can just decide that okay, you don't want maybe left and right. You can just say you want it to be at the same side alone. All you need to do is just modify this to padding left to still do the same thing. So you're still doing the same thing. You can just use padding left, right? Yeah. So that's for that. Then what else? So we are assuming these three are like our icon. We are assuming it's like our icon, right? So then the next thing is let's create the two button, and the two button is the two button, the two button, the two button. Yeah, let's give it. You can always see button, button. So say class of let's say button class. So the button class is, we have two button here, right? We want to make it side by side. So what we need to do is we just come here, we'll create a button. What is the first one? What's the first name? The first name is Google search, and I'm feeling lucky. Google search, and I'm feeling lucky. Google search, and the next one is I'm feeling lucky. I am feeling lucky. Now let's display these two side by side. Okay, it's already side by side. Sorry. Yeah. So what else? Why is it side by side? Then it's good. So my mind is telling me something is wrong. Something is wrong. My mind is telling me. So let's still try and continue. I have my main class. How did I style the main? Did I style main? No, I didn't style main. I didn't style main. I use main search. Then I use main. I wanted to do something like that main search. And then my mind is telling me something is wrong, but I'll try and figure it out when I actually record. So yeah, when I said something is wrong. Okay, let me start this one first. Let's start this main. I think my mind is telling me something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. Yeah. Display flex. Justify content center. Try to check something. Align item center. Okay, so my mind is telling me something is wrong somewhere. Trying to figure it out. Okay, would be the input. Let me see the input. Oh, I already have my here, sir. So it's telling me something is wrong somewhere. So where is the input box? Input box. Input box. Input box. Input box. Input box. Let me give it 400. So what I need to do next is let me try and give this main search width and height. This main search, let's give it a background color so that we can see the effect of what we're doing. Let's give it aquamarine. Oh. So let's give it let's say height of 700 pixel. Height of 700 pixel. Let me just stick to 5. So I can remove my aquamarine background color. So for the button, my mind is telling me that something is wrong, but I'll figure it out. So for the button now, we have the button. We have the button here. Okay, I've not styled it. So what to do is for the button, we'll call it button class. So just come here, copy the class. Of course, it's already display flex, but let's just to be on the same page. Display flex, justify content center, then align item center. Then we can just give it like a gap. Let's give it a gap between gap of 5 pixel. So there is still what they call, sorry, I thought I was using Tailwind. So there is still what they call rem. Rem means like the remaining of the screen, the remaining of the tab, or the remaining of your tag, any current tag. So you can use rem. If you don't want to use pixel, you can use rem too. You can use rem, maybe 2 rem. You can do something like this. So the rem means like the 2% of the remaining parent tag that the current tag is. That's what the rem is all about. So you can use rem, you can use pixel, you can use inch, you can use percentage. So that's for that. Then I think there's a kind of a spacing between the Google search and then the I'm feeling lucky, and it also has like a background, and there's no what is it called, there's no border color icon there, right? So let's see if we can try to do that now. So what we need to do next is we'll just come here. So I said you can actually style a tag now, because I don't have much of a button tag here, so I can just style this whole button class here. So I'll come here, I'll just give it like this. So anything I do will definitely affect the button here. Now I said there are two types of class in CSS. We have the class, we have the one that you can use ID, and the third one is you can actually style a whole tag. So anytime I'm actually using this button across my entire site, it's going to make use of any style I actually use here. So that's what I mean. So let's give it a border of none. Border of none means I don't want any border, and see the border is already gone. So by default, when you are using a button tag, it always has like their own custom inbuilt style with it. So you say button of none, then you give it a padding of give it the padding of let's say 0.2 pixel 2 pixel top and bottom, then 5 pixel left and right. Well, let's say 10. Yeah, then top and bottom, let's say 5. Yeah, so that's for that. So let's try and pause there. I wanted to try and get something pending to when we'll try to resume the next class. So I will wrap it up here till what we'll try to continue again. So what I wanted to do is we'll try and finish this whole Google, and also we'll try the Facebook own too as well. So yeah, thank you very much.